Tennessee at Houston. Houston is now an 8-point favorite. The line has
Yeah.
moved up since last night from 7.5 to 8. So, I just gave you the stat. Home division phase, 7 to 9.5, just 50% against the spread the past 20 years. How much credit do we want to give the Texans for beating up on the Cowboys? Not much. Um, CJ was relatively unspectacular. In fact, had some pretty ugly throws. I don't hate the Titans.
No, I'm on the other side. I like Houston. Like this number
You
should be
do.
10. Yeah, who the fuck is betting Tennessee? Give us a 10 sports books. What is this number? I think they're 1-9 against the spread this season. I could be wrong, but I just
Well,
know
Will Levis is terrible.
he's horrible. And that's the issue here. It's like Houston, they're actually a good team. Like we talked coming into the year. They were a team at the very end before the season. I got scared and I was just like, all right, I'm on Houston just because you look at this team on paper and they're really good. There was a difference that game. The biggest difference we talked about, the Nico Collins effect, that he opens up the whole
Yep.
field and Joe Mixon can do Joe Mixon things. And we've seen that now. When Nico Collins plays, the safeties stay back and Joe Mixon just plays better. And in this matchup, even if the run is tough, we've seen that Tennessee, as good as their defense is, there's ways to attack it. And teams have been doing it all season, right? It's the big plays downfield. So he's got Tank Dell, he's got Nico Collins, his two big play receivers. That's a good matchup for Houston. And the flip side, I don't think the books have corrected enough. Like watching that Tennessee game last week, Minnesota gave them every opportunity to be in it. And this kid could not complete passes. He's either throwing it deep, touchdown, or it's 3 and out. Like there is no in between with him. He's out of this league after this year. He's not a quarterback that's going to last. He's terrible. They're going to keep rolling him out there because what we always talk about, it's like let him play it out. If he shows you something eventually, okay, maybe you bring him back next year. But then he gets you a good draft pick and you're drafting a guy. So Tennessee, to me, we talk this team. There's bad teams this year, and after last week, I've realized there really are teams that are just giving up already. Even though we're not even at Thanksgiving yet, you're just seeing these bad teams not trying, and Tennessee feels like one of them. So I'm not putting any money on them. I'd bet Houston, or I'd just stay away.
So I think maybe I'm biased. I forget about Will Levis for a second. They had so many bad things happen to them in that Vikings game that continues to make me feel like with that defense, and I have said, I don't believe the superficial stats, Tennessee Titans allowing the fewest yards per game. That's kind of bullshit. Like those things don't mean anything in terms of how you're analyzing these games. But they had plays in that game where huge plays were called back because of stupid mistakes they made, because of penalties, whatever. So that's why I'm a little hesitant to
Yeah,
go
but what do we
all in
learn
on
from
the
the luck
Texans.
rankings, Chad? We did a whole thing this summer with Nick Giffen. It's about the
Yeah.
coaches. As much as you want to say it comes down to luck rankings, we realized pretty quickly, oh, Tomlin's not lucky. He's not the luckiest coach ever. He's a great fucking coach. Dennis Allen, he's not the most unlucky coach ever. He's a terrible coach for that Saints team. So it's like, I think that was my biggest takeaway from the luck rankings is you obviously need luck as a coach. Everyone does. But some of these guys are just bad. And this right now, this Tennessee team is so bad. So I get where you're coming from, brother, but it's just we just keep getting burned on by them and we keep going back to the well. And it's just every week we can say, oh, they had a little bit of bad luck here and there. It's like, no, they're just a poorly coached team that's got a horrible quarterback.